What is going on, guys? In today's video I'm going to be going through the worst transfers of the 2016-17 season. So yeah, I don't really have much more to try to say than that, but this is going to be a top 10 list with the right back being number 10, left striker being number 1. Just feel free if to comment if I've missed anyone or put someone in the wrong place. But anyway, I'll start with the honourable mentions. First, we're going with Paco Alcacer. I mean, after moving for a pretty big fee from Valencia, he's just disappointed in his few opportunities. Admittedly, he was always meant to be a sub player, but even still, he has not done well for his new club. Next, we've got Steve Mandanda, who's been so bad that he's been displaced in the team by Wayne Hennessy. Wayne Hennessy. I mean, come on, mate. He came to England with a big reputation as well. He was a very good player. And finally, we have Loris Karius, who, if nothing as a Liverpool fan, has made us very much appreciate Simon Mignolet, which I don't think anyone prior to this season would ever have been able to do. So fair play to him. Number 1 in the list, or number 10, sorry, is going to be Nico Gaitan. Obviously came for a big fee from Benfica. United were chasing this guy for ages, but Carrasco's just shined, and he's got very few opportunities. And in such, he's been a waste of money for Atleti, and that's why he's made the list. 9, we have Thomas Vermaelen. And admittedly, I feel very sorry for this guy because he was such a good player before his injury at Arsenal. But obviously now he's just a shadow of his former self. You probably forgot he was at Roma. He's done nothing there. He's on loan. That's why he's number 9 in this team and not any higher. Next, we have Renato Sanchez. Obviously, he's still young, so he has a lot of time to develop. And in the Bayern midfield, he has a lot of competition. So that's obviously against him. But I mean, for the amount of money that they spent on him, they should have got something back, and they just haven't. I mean, he started the actual Euros in 2016, and he's been on the bench for the under-21s Portugal team this year. So that kind of just shows his progress, just kind of taking a bit of a tumble. Another young star we have is Gabriel Barbosa, otherwise known as Gabigol, but he just has not performed in Italy. He was hyped up so much. I think he was probably more hyped up than Gabriel Jesus. And obviously he went to Inter in the summer from Santos. It was meant to be a massive transfer, but it just hasn't worked out for him, and that's why he's made the list. So next we have Jesse Rodriguez. I mean, this guy had a good end to the season for Real Madrid, and PSG, it looked like a pretty solid move by spending 20 million quid on this guy, but he was loaned to Las Palmas in, I think, January, and he was so bad they had to go and buy Julian Draxler to go and fill his space. So obviously he has just not performed in France, and his form, I think, may have been recaptured a little bit whilst at Las Palmas, but as for PSG guys, I mean, he just had a torrid season with them, and obviously, like a lot of these players, he's still young, so he has time to kind of develop, but this season's just been one he'll want to write off. Next, we have Simone Zaza. The only reason he is not higher on this list, I think he's like, what, number 5? Is because he was alone. But Juventus wanted to get rid of him so badly that they made a clause that he had to go if he played a certain amount of games for West Ham. 0 goals, 0 goal contributions, and 0 people missing him when he eventually left West Ham. I mean, this guy already came to England as a laughing stock due to a certain penalty and a certain run that kind of ruined Italy's Euros. And yeah, they kind of got exactly what they saw at the Euros to old West Ham. He recaptured his form at Valencia a little bit, scored an amazing goal in a league game, not sure who it was against, but this is for West Ham. And at West Ham, he did genuinely less than nothing. So I think this is number 4. Number 3, sorry if I'm wrong, is Grzegorz Krychowiak. I'm going to just skip the pronunciation of that because I know I've 90% got it wrong. But anyway, this guy was bought for a lot of money by Unai Emery from his former club, Sevilla. He came with Emery, and at the start of the season, he wasn't performing well. Then Emery switched up the system, and he started to play even less, started to perform even worse. He was outplaced by the other players in the team, like Thiago Motta, who's obviously like really old. And yeah, this one surprised me that it didn't work out because obviously this guy's had a relationship with Emery before at Sevilla, and it just hasn't worked for him, which is obviously not good. I mean, this one did surprise me. I thought he was going to shine, but unfortunately he just didn't set to play, and he can be considered a waste of money. Number 3, I think this is Andre Gomes. He was apparently so bad that Leo Messi asked Luis Enrique to take this guy out of the team. Barca paid so much money to Valencia for this guy, like 50 million euros, something ridiculous like that. He was expected to be a powerhouse, but he's just been anything but. He has been a massive flop, and just someone so bad that he's had to make every single worst transfer list, including this one. You know, it's understandable. A lot of pressure moving to Barcelona, but this guy flopped massively. Come to think of it, actually, this is number 2, I think, but I don't understand why I didn't put this guy number 1, so consider this number 1 already, okay? So I'll just go on to the actual runner-up here, Claudio Bravo. Oh my god, this guy has been so bad. It's actually unreal. He came to England with a reputation as a Barca goalkeeper, a very good player, but he's just left a shell, okay? I mean, stats actually back up how bad he's been this season. He's at a save percentage of something around 50%, so around half of the shots on target taken against him have gone in. I think more than half. And for a period of time, from like January to April, he did not make one save in the Premier League, which is beyond ridiculous. So, essentially, right, he is basically what a Premier League player was thinking was, if they took a shot on goal, if it hit the target, it was more or less going in, because this guy could do nothing about it. He has been an absolute he's been so bad for them. He's had a shocker of a season. I mean, obviously you've heard that he's done it really well in the Confederations Cup for Chile, but I'm talking about the Premier League here, and he has been so bad, it is laughable. He is literally just a laughing stock of the Premier League now. I mean, he is getting old, so this is kind of expected, but Jesus, this guy has been bad. And finally, you know who number 1 is. It is going to be Moussa Sissoko. This guy, I think, actually has a spot as one of the worst transfers of all time. He was Tottenham's record buy, don't forget. 30 million quid they have paid for one good game at the Euros. Admittedly, the rest of his games were okay for France, but he played well in the final. And don't forget, that was preceding a season where he was bang average for Newcastle whilst they got relegated. And this guy has contributed no goals and no assists this year. He is their record signing. He's 30 million quid. This guy was meant to be just like a superstar, like kind of an enforcer for them. But he's been anything but. He's been shocking. He's been so bad, it's actually unbelievable. I mean, he has to be considered one of the worst panic buys of all time. I mean, this is beyond ridiculous for me. Like, as soon as they signed him, I instantly just thought, why would they go and do this? But I mean, it hasn't hampered them too much. Spurs have done pretty well this season, but as for Sissoko, he has been completely awful. So that is why he's the worst signing of the season, in my opinion anyway. Switch them around. So that is the team. If you did enjoy, please drop a like, and I'll see you guys later.